everybody, Bob with Knivestown here. I'd like to do a review for you today on a knife by Fallkniven Knife Company. It's the H1 Hunter model. Fallkniven is a Swedish knife making company. They are a family-owned business, and they're actually a relatively recent company. In early 80s, I believe it was, and it is truly a family-owned business. However, they have had some fantastic success. They do manufacture some of the highest quality knives, and they do manufacture for the military, and hunters all over the world do appreciate the fine quality of these knives. This particular model here is called the H1, and it is a hunting knife. So let's take a look at that. It comes in a very simple box, not much for production here on the box, and there is the. You can see here there's two marks, one for the VG10 steel, the laminate VG10 steel, and the 3G. They actually used to make this knife up until I believe October of '06 out of laminated VG10 steel. But since then they've been making it out of the even better 3G powdered steel, and we'll talk about that. That's just a super premium steel. Anyway, it ships in bubble wrap for protection, and the knife comes in its sheath, as you can see. There we are. Now I can smell that leather. It's nice. Nice leather. Interesting here that it's what's called a dangle sheath, and if you can see here, it's just it's a drop-in. It's a drop-in sheath. There's no strap that goes around the knife handle or snap or loop or anything like that. The knife sits far enough into the depth of the sheath, as you can see, that it's just a drop-in, and it stays sufficiently secured that way. And then here on the back is the sheath separates with a loop here, and this is the part that goes over your belt or well, whatever you're carrying it from, and you can see how that would hang at your side. That would be easily accessible. Very good design there, and very flexible, and it'll move with you. This is trust me, this is a nice leather. It's embossed with the model. I don't know if you can see that H1 right there, embossed with the model there, and you can see that's stitched, good heavy stitching, thick leather there, very nice. Anyway, the knife comes out. The knife is drawn from the sheath like so, and there you have the Hunter H1. That's a classic design. Very simple. It's got a very Scandinavian look to it, of course. The technical specs here are the blade is 4 inches long, and the overall length of the knife is 8.3 inches. This blade is, take a look at how thick this blade gets. At the spine there, that blade is 5 millimeters thick. That's 2/10 of an inch. There's my finger for some comparison. There's a sticker there. You can see that says Sweden on it. That's where this is made. So that's got that's a thick piece of steel right there. So it's very solid, as you can see. And then the grind it goes, I'd say maybe no more than a third of the way down, and then it's just flat ground from that point down. And you can see here the sweep of that blade. You can see the sweep of that. That's perfect for skinning and dressing of field game, which exactly is what the knife is made for. This is made from the 3G powdered steel, and what that is that's a very expensive way to make steel. There's not many companies using that technique right now because of the cost involved, but it costs more, but it's worth it, because what it does is it makes a steel that is an absolutely uniform dispersion of alloys within the steel, and it makes for a very uniform grain, and the steel is absolutely homogeneous within itself of the alloys in there, and there's no clumping, as it were, of the alloys, and it's a perfectly the strength is even throughout. The corrosion resistance is even throughout, and of course the hardness, of course, is even. Everything is a completely uniform piece of steel. So it's a really good way to make a knife. The Rockwell hardness on this particular model here is 62, which is a very hard. That's quite hard, and that would be brittle. Actually, would be too hard if the entire knife blade were to be made of that. But as you can see here, I'm thinking that you can see. You'll be able to see here you can see there, if you look, you can see the laminate line where the steel, right there, can you see that? It doesn't show real well, but it's there. At the tip, there's a laminate line there, and that, of course, is the sandwich effect of the two steels. The inner, there's an inner piece of steel in here, which is that super hard steel, and then surrounding it, wrapping around it, is the softer steel. And so the softer steel keeps it from being too brittle and snapping, chipping and snapping and that kind of a thing. But the super hard steel gives it that excellent edge retention and cutting power. Really, really sharp. That will hold a very sharp edge for a very long time. You can see by the design of it that it's very basic and plain. There's no finger guard. It's just pretty much straight. The handle is made of craton, which is a rubberized. It's got grip checkering on it, so it does give a good grip. It does have a lanyard hole there. You can see it's full tang construction, as you would expect. That billet of steel goes all the way through. That's a full tang construction, of course. No, there's no finger guard, and no, there's no finger grooves. It's just a plain, simple knife, and it's made for the professional. It's made for the person that it's expected knows how to handle a knife, and knows enough to be able to operate and use a knife like this without cutting themselves and not having finger guards. It's an outdoorsman's knife for not for the beginner, and it's priced in that same vein. It's not a cheap knife, not by any means. But if you are at that level of skill, and you think that you want to step up to the finest hunting knife in the world, this is what you're looking for right here. You're not going to find better steel than this, and you might find more bells and whistles, but you're not going to find just a better down-to-earth knife than this. A great gripping knife. Excellent knife. Well, thanks a lot. I'll see you again.